There are a lot of narratives out there about the passing away RIP of a young upcoming artist called Mobad. Well, according to the report that we have gotten, it is difficult not to think or accept or agree or kind of reason in that line that this young man's life was cut short intentionally by certain people. Well, the report that we got is this. He filed a petition to the Lagos state government accusing one Sammy Larry of threatening and also being after his life. And the shocking part of it is this: the authorities, nobody did anything about it. Now, sometimes 2022, Mobad screamed and shouted and talked about his life being threatened, and he made mention of Naira Marley and some other dudes in the same Malian group. Now, to make it even more complicated, we saw some leaked chats, text messages of this Mobad and his then girlfriend, who eventually became his wife. He is saying the same thing: "You are after my life," and that should anything happen to him, she will be held responsible. Now, it seems to be a fight or flight. I don't know which one he decided to take, what route. I think the flight. Well, this particular petition is serious. I mean, if we are to look at every other, you need to have evidence to substantiate your claim or allegation. But if we look at this one, and several videos where the same Sammy Larry and some goons came after him for one thing or the other. Even Naira Marley also talked about him being troublesome, and people want to retaliate or fight back, and he's also he said a lot of things like, this is a troublesome person, he wants to fight, he wants to create problems amongst people, and yet he's shouting and screaming as if he's the victim, that he will not allow anything happen to him, meaning that there are people who are angry, people who believe that Mobad is attacking them one way or the other, and I do not know exactly what Mobad has done. Now, in this petition, Mobad said that Sam Larry, of course, that name has been resonating here and there. According to him, he said Sam Larry threatened that he was going to RIP him should they meet eye to eye. And the very frustrating part of it is this: after the passing away of this dude, no one is saying anything. When I say, I'm not saying social media. I mean, the appropriate authorities are not looking into it like, well, there is a petition on our table and this young man has passed away in a mysterious way. What really happened? Now, we also heard from some, backdoor investigative journalists. They claimed that the hospital where he was rushed to, the autopsy report and the check, and many other things that were done, the clinicals that were done on him, indicated that he had some very terrible drugs in his urine, and that is opium, that he had it in his urine, and that his lungs, his cardiac walls have been scared. I mean, it's been traumatized as a result of drug abuse. And I'm very sure that you have also heard that he complained of Tinatus. That is this ringing that you hear, when that kind of blockage that could cause ringing. So what caused it? Is it drug abuse? Was it cardiac issue? What was it exactly that made them rush him to the hospital? Was that symptoms spiritual, or is it more of physical abuse as a result of the pressure to meet up and, in quote, enemies that he acquired along the pathway of his life? So the hospital in question somehow is not really wanting people to know about them. Of course, that news is not something that will be hidden for long because they are afraid of backlash and all of that. Now, we heard about him being rushed to this hospital. Obviously, the hospital will want to do the needful, but we don't know which injection was administered to him. And many other, even if the nurse is to say, this is what we administered to him, who is going to confirm? He has been buried already. Is there going to be toxicology report? Well, they claim that his urine was collected. So, I mean, come on. They could have no rubbish or thrown away or been any of the physical items that remains, and they can only show you paper. And you know how it is. They can print papers indicating that he was intoxicated and they tried to revive him with so and so medication, but he has gone. I mean, that is far off, and there was nothing that they could do. Now, I want you to listen to the father of Mobad, where he talked about this injection of a thing, because this is somehow one very important thing that people are kind of looking into.
Don't suspect anybody at all. So, according to what I heard from people, I didn't believe on that. Because the only thing that I even think of, maybe this auxiliary nurse that used to treat people, which is very bad. I didn't know the kind of the level that the woman is. I said they call him, they invite him to give him injection.
Now, you heard it. Now, the reason why I decided to play that short clip is this. They said that it was the hospital, the nurse that called on him to come for that injection. We are not clear. Was he rushed to the hospital? Did he complain at the hospital initially? We've seen records of and pictures of him posting it himself, complaining of high blood pressure, and that he's being treated for hypertension. And not just that alone. You know, there are a lot of health issues that he might probably be dealing with. So the nurse, the hospital, called on him. Now, the question that is being raised, is there a kind of third party in this? Did someone pay the nurse, prepare the injection, and once the injection was administered to him, he slumped? When an injection is administered to you, are you supposed to slump? What really happened? Was that injection not the right injection? Because we have we have so many mushroom nurses, those that are not really nurses. They are auxiliary, as they call them, and I really do not know what that means. They are not nurses. They do not have the professional certificate, but they call themselves nurses. All they know is if someone is sick, it is malaria, it is typhoid, if the person is this, let us just give him this injection will make him strong and all of that. We don't know exactly what this is all about. Now, all of this is gone, like I said at the beginning. Every of this is gone. Why? Because the rush to bury him is something that I do not understand. If someone had been complaining, if someone had been talking about they want to take my life and many other things, I'm very sure that family members, particularly the father, if they are both close together, if the father knows and sees and understands how things work, I mean, among young, vibrant guys like this who are into this industry, who abuse this and that, who engage in some diabolic things and many other like cultism and many other things, oath taking and many other things like that. Of course, probably the father will have some info, but he will not be able to put this out publicly. That's just the truth. He's grieving, regardless of how that young man passed away. He's grieving. He will want to say things that people will kind of say, oh, really? So you know all of this about your child. So what did you do? But this young man was buried in a hurry. So are they going to exhume his corpse to check, to find out what took his life? That's the question. Why wasn't he put in a mortuary? I do not know. Is it that this young man did not, bless his family? I mean, how come they couldn't pay for a place to keep him, a mortuary to keep him whilst they investigate? And this also has to do with, education and also being open-minded. I mean, if your mind is closed, like, it's God that took him, it's God that brought him, so that's it. You have to be out of that shell to like, no, let us find out what took the life of this young man. It could be something that we need to deal with medically among ourselves too. What is it that took the life of this young man? Is it substance abuse? So his father can say, my son passed away as a result of substance abuse, or is whatever was laced. What is it that took this boy's life? They needed like 2 or 3, separate, independent medical examination apart from the hospital for a conclusion to be finally, made. But right now, the evidence of the report, Petition, and Sammy Larry. Now, it seems the name of Naira Marley is a little bit kind of quiet. We are hearing talks about people who are going to commit arson. They're going to set his house ablaze, set that ablaze. Sammy Larry is going to be dealt with. We are hearing people from Ikorodu, the part where this young man hails from. People are saying they are going to be aggressive, they are going to be this and that. But I think the best would have been for them to exhume that corpse to find out what happened to him. That's just it. If there's anything that they can, salvage to find out what really happened to him. But I think they would not want to do this. Like, no, let him rest. Let him remain in there, because as you can see, the father of this young guy has finally kind of relaxed. And moreover, people, life is not really what we think it is. For people, certain people, they'll be like, who is he? Is he the son of the president? So why should we want to press hard? He's gone. He has lived his life. And most times, religion also plays a very huge role. You will hear that, nobody can take anybody's life if God did not permit it. I'm sure you must have heard this. Nobody can take anybody's life if God does not permit it. God knows about it. It's a little bit mysterious. What are your own thoughts and observations about all of this? Probably you're a friend to him. Probably you are privy to some information. Drop it in the comment section. Like and share. Subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update.